Hi everyone, this is Pastor Henry of Dixon United Methodist Church, and for today's devotion, our Bible reading will be from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 through 18, and this is what it says. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. One more time, rejoice always. Pray without ceasing. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Howard Thurman describes this idea of communion with God. Communion with God as an overflowing of utter praise, an overflowing of adoration and celebration. It is a sense of awe that one has, that overwhelms the mind and enlivens all the emotions with a kindling of spiritual fervor. Take time to pause this video and reflect on the following question. How would you describe experiencing a communion with God? How would you describe experiencing communion with God? Thurman also adds this. He says, communion is not merely an order of thanks for services rendered or goods received. And when I hear this, for me, it means that communion is not merely going through the motions. It's not merely going through the motions of liturgy during a service, and even prayer before a meal. This communion with God is something more. And Thurman describes this communion in the context of an overflowing thankfulness toward God. One could say that this thankfulness is not a cognitive practice, but a heart and spirit practice. Once again, it's not a cognitive practice of going through the motions, of merely just manners of some sort, but it's something more. For I believe that it is not a thankfulness for merely the goodness of life, but also one that emerges in the midst of struggle. Whereas 1 Thessalonians 5, 16 through 18 says, it's about giving thanks in all circumstances, where joy emerges in a sense in all circumstances because of that overflowing thankfulness. And so this week I invite you to write or meditate about a time where you have experienced a sense of overflowing thankfulness toward God or another person. Write or meditate about that time. And then finally, pray for those whose lives lacked passion and joy, that their lives may be kindled with God's divine love, so that passion and joy may emerge. May you all have a blessed week.